Da-da-da-da-da, welcome back to the Minecraft survival vlogs. In the last episode, we did the market building and the penthouse skyscraper right here. Which, by the way, if you haven't watched that episode, go watch it. But now look over my left shoulder. You see that iron golem? There's a reason he's there. Because in this episode, it's Iron Factory time. Yes, the latest addition to our Minecraft village city on the outskirts. Just as a factory would be, we've got the factory. But in this episode, I want to focus not only on the factory itself and the building design, but how we went about building the iron farm and factory. Fully operational and producing loads of iron. So it's time for the 5-stage process. Stage 1, the design phase. See, I always design my survival buildings in creative mode before building them in survival. That way I know the scaling, know the resources I need, or at least a general outline. Because for example, the iron farm is a little bit more complicated. First off, by the way, I want to mention, I'm still playing in 1.14. As you may remember from, well, the fact that I was gone, but also from last episode, we took a little bit of a break. Since then, the replay mod, which is a mod I use to do this cool camera angle, has been updated to 1.16. So should I update? Let me know in the comments. We finally will get to explore the new nether, but I mentioned 1.14 because this iron farm is the farm I use in 1.14. It's an Mango design. He is the greatest. If you don't know him, you should, but I'll link him down below. And I also did some custom tweaks to the redstone myself just to make it server friendly. You know, what can I say? What can I say? Redstone player here. I almost got cocky enough there to say redstone master. Let's not get too carried away. But yes, tying it all together. 1.14, Mango farm design and designing your survival builds ahead of time in creative mode. The key thing with the iron farm is spawning of the iron golems. That's why you see right here, all this andesite, those are slabs so that the golems can't spawn there. And so we knew when we were designing the actual building, we had to keep slabs in those sections, or at least on spawnable blocks like glass. But I just thought that was interesting. Also, what do you think of the white? Originally I went with quartz. I then switched it to a different texture, that dark brown, which we'll talk about in a moment. But because of our villager market center, it's a market center, right? What's the name? By the way, once again, 80 levels now. Because of trading with villagers. Look, we have unlimited quartz now. This is why I literally love villagers. I love the entire ordeal. We had to stock these guys up. We'll talk about that in a moment too. But check out Rocket. Rocket's got polished andesite. We have unlimited andesite now. We don't even have to go mining. Actually, I gotta go mining for stone, funny enough. But yes, so we have unlimited quartz now. We could use it. And let me know in the comments too what you think of the quartz versus the brown dark oak. But the reason that dark oak is such a big deal is because if you look throughout the entire rest of the city, we got oak wood, we got birch wood, we got some, sandstone, and then some, stone. But for the first time, we are adding in, boom, a new wood type, which brings us to stage 2. Resource gathering. I like the dark oak wood. I knew this building would be on the outskirts, so I did want to bring in the new wood texture right now. But so, if we look at the map of our world, which I'm playing in a large biomes world because I think that's awesome, it's a long journey to the dark oak. But that just means we had to go into the nether, set up a portal, and arrive at a roofed forest, which was also in this really awesome town. It was fully surrounded by this forest, and look at where the nether portal spawned. That was sweet in itself. But as I mentioned, getting those villagers into position was a tedious task. First off, we had to fill up the rest of our librarians here in our librarian trading hall, which we're already just completely geared out. Like Zam is monster. Look, Rob looting, get it, Rob? Ha. We got Zippy for another efficiency 5. I didn't know I had one. Brick for that unbreaking 3. Genie, fortune 3. And finally, Smooth for that silk touch. I actually need to get smite on one of those, so if I don't, then one of those villagers is gonna suffer a difficult fate. Looking at you, Bob. I'm looking at you. But once those were all in place, looking back at our train line that goes across and into the villager market building, we went ahead and used that and got in some masonries. Are they masonries? Masons. Why did I think there was an RY? We went ahead and got in some masons who dropped down and are in place. Why is that red block? That's messed up. That's not. That will cause problems in the future. Let's fix that right now. The other cool thing is, turns out that you can get, look at, these are awesome. And also I got greens, so this will work perfect for our golf course, a little golf hole that we're going to design in a future episode. But with those villagers moved, it's on to stage 3, which means some actual survival building and prepping the ground time. This really just goes back to those slabs and having it spawn proof from the iron golems, but again is a good reflection of why it's pretty fun, and I love building the buildings ahead of time. The wildcat hanging out with Boogadaba. Look at them. Oh my gosh, they're best buddies. They're chatting. What are they do? Oh, Boogadaba, you so rude. So rude, man. Look what you did. Look what you did. Oh man. But as you can see on screen, not only were we putting the slabs in to make it spawn proof, but we knew what blocks we wanted to place in and where we wanted to place them. So we also started to lay the foundation for the building itself. But that takes us on to stage 4. I'm gonna actually turn this off for right now. Look at the iron. I'm gonna turn this off for right now just so it's not super loud. Iron golems. By the way, let's check how much iron we have. Ooh, it's pretty solid. We just got it running, so I like it. But stage 4 was building the actual iron farm. It's always different building in survival, which is fun to do and see. Again, this design is an El Mango design, the farm itself, and I'll link that video down below just in case you want to build this farm. I'm not sure if it's the most efficient in 1.16. You'll have to let me know. Hopefully it still works. They all just went to sleep. Bada bang, bada boom. By the way, while I was building this, I wanted to have a bed nearby, so I made a little super bed. Night night. Whoa. But yes, iron farm design work, well, building work. And probably the most critical aspects of building this in survival is getting the zombie, which is Blob, and then relocating the villager, which shows the functionality of our city coming to life and just showing off. As our hospital villager breeder worked perfectly in, well, doing his job, breeding. All we had to do was set up a rail going from the hospital breeder, redirect it from the original station, and bring it down in and drop off the villagers in the pods. And though tedious, there was no problems, no issues, no loss of lives, which we always love. It's our villager squad, you know it. And so moving the villagers could be stage 4.5 in itself, because that is the biggest aspect of it. But once the iron farm itself was in and iron golems started to randomly start spawning in, because we hadn't locked down the structure yet, it was time to build said structure. This structure all throughout the iron farm factory. And so we'll take a look at the time lapse in just one moment, but I just want to point out the smokestacks and building shape itself. I reference this image. I always envisioned the iron farm being in a factory style, and so we wanted to have those smokestacks and we wanted to have kind of the industrial look. And so even though it's built out of wood, it kind of has that theme. But here's the time lapse, and once again for the time lapse, I'm gonna go with music to give it justice. There'll be a timer in the bottom right. It's a circle. It's a new animation I'm testing out. So if you're not big on time lapses, it'll be short, but you can also see how long it goes. But all right, here's the construction. Also, I accidentally paused it at random times, so things might pop up. We'll see. And so yes, that's the iron farm factory in all its glory. Woo! Awesome addition to the village city. Let's flick it on and watch the iron golems come in. Here they come. Look, he's just tanning, man. What are you talking about? But the redstone, I had to switch up a little bit just so that when I slept on the server, I noticed that in El Mango's design, when you sleep, it could break it at times. So I kind of set up the redstone like this. So I'll put some pictures right here on screen right now of my redstone. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And we got a functioning iron farm in place. Boom, bam, pow. But this took quite some time, a lot longer than I thought it would. So we're going to wrap up the episode and we're going to get to the penthouse interior and more in the next one.